And sure enough, when they went looking for him, why, there was Joshua, a big tree in the forest, and nobody ever found him. And you know, Belle even made that work. Days, weeks, months even went by. And sure enough, just as before, Belle continued working in the fields. And at night, she'd make a fine supper for him, and he'd play on that fiddle the way he always had. But then one day when Belle was working with the other women in the field, she heard a noise. Chum, chum, chum. Somebody was cutting down a tree, and Belle wondered, could it possibly be her Joshua tree? Oh no! Why, fast as she could, she ran. And when she got there, sure enough, they'd cut down the Joshua tree. And Belle was standing there going, no, you can't cut down that tree. Well, they thought she was crazy. They cut that tree down, and they took the wood from it, and they made a roof on to where they keep the meats. But the slaves wouldn't go back down there because they said that the smokehouse made strange noises and shook all over like it was possessed, like it had a spirit. Now the slave master said, this is ridiculous. But sure enough, when he too went down there, he had to say that was the strangest smokehouse he'd ever seen in his life. And so it was that Belle continued to keep a vigil at that same place long after they built a new smokehouse and railed that one with Joshua's wood down to the ground. Why, years went by, and Belle got to be an old woman, but she still kept a vigil at that old flattened smokehouse. And as she became an old woman, it seemed to her in the evenings, when it got real quiet and peaceful, the way you know it gets in the evening, that she could hear in the distance a fiddle somewhere playing. And then eventually, that conjure woman came. She came near and saw there was Belle after all these years. And so she said to her, do you still have that bag, daughter, that I gave you so many years before? And Belle said she did. She said, well, it works the way it always did. You just take it and rub it around the wood of that smokehouse. And sure enough, Belle took that bag and she went in a circle around the wood. And when she came back to the front, there stood Joshua, as young and tall as he ever was. And according to the legend, they were never apart after that day. Indeed, according to the legend, 2 trees grew up. And most folks nearby said they represented the spirits of Belle Dorcas and the wonderful husband Joshua that she sacrificed so much for and loved so dearly. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Thank you. Have a happy Marcus Garvey Day.
You want to have a seat over there? Okay. All right, now we're going to take a music break. We're going to have 15 minutes of music, and then we'll come back with speakers and then more entertainment later. Enjoy.
we got 2 mics up
with your brother. Spend your money with your sister. All right? Listen, we'll have a good time today. Okay, the program next, we have a brother who represents the African Children's Fund. He's going to tell us about the African Children's Fund program, which is based here in Atlanta. The brother's name is, give me a minute, Charles Osegi, and he will come to you and give you some information about the African Children's Fund and how you and your family can become a member of the African Children's Fund to provide the services to our children at home and abroad. We now have Charles Osegi. Give us up.
Good afternoon, everybody. I said good afternoon, everybody. That's right. I'm not used to saying hi because hi is for you to drive away the cows and the goats. That's when you say hi. When you say hi, you are saying, get away from me. That's what it means. So I am not saying good afternoon to everybody. Like she said, my name is Charles Osegi of the Africa's Children's Fund. Africa's Children's Fund was founded in 1993. The purpose of the organization was and is to help Africans here in the United States and Africans wherever they are. Our main mission is to educate our people, give them the opportunity to take advantages of what is existing in your own community. First of all, I want to tell you what is right here, just about 3 or 4 miles away from this spot, which exists at 201 Ashby Street. That is our project site. What we do there is to provide educational programs. 1, we provide people with drug prevention. 2, we give you the opportunity to participate in our GED, SAT, homework assistance programs. All of them are provided free. You are not going to pay anything. We don't charge you a penny. And we'll use college professors to provide you these programs. Why? We are tired of seeing the SAT scores falling down in the city of Atlanta. When we see these scores, we are upset. Therefore, Africa's Children's Fund decided that we should do something about it. It is your choice to select the colleges and not the colleges selecting you because you flunked your SAT programs. It is your choice to go to the college you want to go. Once you bump that SAT score, I bet you and I guarantee you the colleges will be looking for you and not you scrambling for colleges because your SAT score is low. Africa Children's Fund, it has come to exist to challenge all of you, especially our high school students who are ready to go to college. Do not say, I have not had this. It's free. I say it again. These programs are free. To those of you who never made it to high school or you dropped out of high school, we have given you the opportunity to complete your GED programs. It's free. Come and use us. We are going to teach you free of charge. It's called, the program's name is called Project Excel. We want you to excel in life. We are not going to wait to excel. It's time for us to excel right now. So that terminology, waiting to excel, is for yesterday. Today, we are excelling. Another program which we are involved in, Africa's Children's Fund, trying to help those African kids back in Africa and the Caribbean, and as a matter of fact, it's no more just Africans. I tell you, 3 weeks ago, after the Olympics, we started receiving phone calls from Taiwan to send them books. So now it's no more just for Africans, but we are tied to give these programs to the Africans first. We are first in the world. Despite the fact they call us third world countries, we were first. And we will continue to be first. Say it, we will continue to be first. I don't care what people say, we will continue to be first. The book program, we collect books from schools and we ship these books to Africans, that's African children, elementary, high school, and we are going to the Caribbean to ship other books to our friends down there. Anywhere in the world where we have African children, they must get the books. These books are mostly used books. 3/4 of them are used books. So if you have one in the areas of mathematics, science, I say again, mathematics and science, these are the books we need mostly. And we can be reached at, the phone number is 770-413-1350. We can be reached at this number. I say again, we can be reached to pick up the books, or you can drop it for us at 201 Ashby Street. We will get it from there. Another program which we have is that continuation with the book project. We are organizing African Americans mostly in what we call Friendship Link. The Friendship Link is to get African American kids to get acquainted with African kids at home, that's in Africa. We want them to start first of all as pen pals, that's exchanging letters, mails. Then the next thing that will follow is exchange of visits. We want African American kids to know the history of Africa. And we don't want somebody else to tell you the history they don't know. Because I am sick and tired of seeing the textbooks telling me that Egypt is in the Middle East. Egypt is in Africa, people. We need to correct these social studies that they teach our kids in school, which is purely incorrect. Therefore, come to Ashby Street and listen and hear and learn about African history, study for your SAT, study for your GED, and improve your writing skills. All of them free of charge. Thank you.
All right, we're hoping that all of you will become card-carrying, dues-paying members of the African Children's Fund so that we can send books to Africa, so that we can send all the technology and supplies we need to build an African nation. Okay, next we do have a sister who is going to be speaking to us about the assault on African studies worldwide. We have heard about the book, Not Out of Africa. We have heard about Schlesinger and all of those other Europeans talking about Africa is not the home of civilization. But we know that we were the first and the original man. We have a sister here who is going to talk to us about this latest assault on African studies, and she is from Georgia State University, from the African American Studies Department, and also the African American Studies Club. She's a graduate student in the department, and she's going to talk about what's going on in terms of our discipline, African Studies. And we now have Sister Meza. Come on up, baby. Meza Shika. Here she is.
Greetings. It's truly a blessing to be out here in the midst of so many beautiful African people. And it's truly a blessing to be able to stand before you and share what we have to share with you. And I first want to start by giving honor to the great Marcus Osiah Garvey with these words. This is what Marcus Garvey would have said, I think, if he was here. He says, man in his authority is a sovereign Lord. This feeling makes man so courageous and so bold as to make it impossible for his brother to intrude upon his rights. So few of us can understand what it means to make a man. The man who would never say die. The man who would never give up. And the man who would never depend on another to do for him what he can do for himself. The man who would not blame God. The man who would not blame fate. But the man who would go out and make conditions to suit himself. These are indeed the very inspirational words of Marcus Osiah Garvey. Here he reminds us of the profoundness of a man who is self-directed, who is self-defining and self-sufficient. Within this, he declares that there can never be an enemy for a man that has secured for himself an identity. It is only befitting that we are here to honor the legacy of Marcus Garvey. He possessed one of the greatest of all gifts, of vision. Marcus Garvey was truly a visionary. In fact, the richness of our culture belongs to a heritage of people who can see. Unquestionably, Marcus Garvey saw the Black Star Line. Undoubtedly, the comedian saw the pyramids. Remarkably, Harriet Tubman saw the Underground Railroad. Wonderfully, Imhotep saw the healing wonders of herbal remedies. And splendidly, Benjamin Banneker Bay saw the architecture and landscaping of Washington, D.C. So it seems that our greatest glory lies in our ability to capture our visions and our aspirations and be determined and persevering enough to bring into manifestation our highest ideals. Surely this is the legacy that our ancestors have left for us. We are here today to examine the progress of African American studies since its installation in the 1960s. Clearly, the idea of studying the culture, the heritage, the values, the customs, the norms, and the mores of African people did not appear without a struggle. There were those who did not wish to honor the outstanding accomplishments of these people. And for those who did wish to see African American studies as a bona fide discipline, they could not agree on what should be considered in the studies. This friction, of course, brought about unrest. It brought the riots, the sit-ins, the burnings, the bombings, which ultimately gave birth to African American studies as we know it today. Since its birth, African American studies have exposed thousands of people to themselves. It has even educated those who resisted against it. The world is now more familiar with people like Marcus Garvey, James Baldwin, Audre Lorde, and Billie Holiday. They are reminded of the birth of jazz, the blues, rhythm and blues, the hip-hop culture. Young scholars can smile when they see pages and pages of information, all of it, about themselves. And our babies have something to look forward to as the influence of capturing our experience is making its way and gaining more and more ground. However, there are still some people that are not convinced that African people have a story to tell. They say that Asa Hilliard, John Henry Clark, Ivan Van Sertima, and Dr. Ben are all myth-makers. That they have no accurate account of history, and that there is no way that African people could be at the center of anything, let alone civilization. They say that African American studies is a reaction to Western scholarship. They say that it's illegitimate, insubstantial, and structurally problematic. Now, we can choose to react to the inclinations of those who feel this way. We have always been the center of some type of slandering. So this is nothing new to our experience as a people. We know that before there was any scholarship, there was African scholarship. We know that if it were not for us as our ancestors, that it would not be anything to study. As I heard one brother say, he said that we are chemistry, agriculture, mathematics, English, and science, and that all these sciences existed in us first. We know this already. So it seems that our challenge lies someplace else. It seems that our challenge is for us to become more responsible for what we know. And we can choose how we respond to these inclinations. I think again, if Marcus Garvey was here, he would say it like this. Let us not waste time in breathless appeals to the strong while we are weak, but lend our time, energy, and effort to the accumulation of strength among ourselves by which we will voluntarily attract the attention of others. So the question, my brothers and sisters, becomes, what will we do for ourselves? How will we accumulate strength? The prophet Noble Drew Ali, who was one of Marcus Garvey's teachers, he said that in order for a soldier to know his strength, the soldier must be brought against his enemy or a foe. And my brothers and sisters, we only have one enemy, and that enemy is ourselves. So the question again becomes, how do we harm ourselves? How do we destroy ourselves? And why are we still not one with each other, our dreams and ideas? Our enemy, our only enemy again, brothers and sisters, is the way that we think. It seems that our greatest default is in the way that we think. And the greatest thing that we must realize by ourselves is that we're no more than mind. Man creates his own conditions, and he does it by the way that he thinks. And if we desire unity as a people, then we have to begin to unite first the kingdom within ourselves. We must begin to bring the merge of our higher selves and lower selves together. We shall not see unity. We shall not see stronger African American studies programs. And we shall not see more prosperous African American businesses, schools, families, until we change how we feel, how we think about ourselves. Our thoughts create everything. And if you think that it is bad, then so shall it be. It seems then that our brothers and sisters, that our job, as Garvey has declared, is to go to work. We need to go to work at changing the way we think about ourselves. When our thoughts become more positive, it will change our entire environment. It will revolutionize our way of being. Then we shall begin to make significant contributions to the resurrection of the people who never died. And again, as I close, I think if the brother Marcus Garvey was here, he would say it just like this. Go to work. Go to work in the morn of a new creation. And strike, not because of the noonday sun, but plod on until you have succeeded in climbing the hills of opposition and reach the height of self-progress. And from that pinnacle, bestow upon the world a civilization of your own. And hand down to your children a prosperity of your own, a worthy contribution to the age of human materialism. Thank you.
All right. Let's give a sister a hand. This was powerful. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Africa. All right. That's just the beginning of our program. We've got some more entertainment for you. We've got more information for you. Right now, we're going to bring to you members of the Akan community who is going to talk about the Akan tradition. Now, these brothers are from the Bassoon Diniwazi of Maryland. And if I mispronounce that, I'm sure the brother will correct me. I'll now bring to you the Akan priest. All right.
Madase, Sister Akila. Veciamo, Nani Alpare, Kamari Nini Fuluse, Chia. On behalf of Nanayao, Opari Kamari Didi Zulu, the Omanhene of the Akan in America, and so forth of the Akonade Shrine of America, I bring greetings to you from the Bosum Jamawoji, the Akan People Organization in the United States of America. The Bosum Jamawoji is a Pan-African organization founded in 1967 by Nanayao Opari Didi Zulu I, who established the organization in order to bring the benefits of African culture and tradition to our people, primarily here in this country, but also throughout the African world. Our membership is drawn from people from various parts of Africa, the Caribbean, and the United States, and we base our organizational structure and our lifestyle on the traditions of the Akan people of West Africa. The Akan are the Chi-speaking people of West Africa, who live primarily in what is now Ghana and the Ivory Coast. It is from the Akan that the majority of the Africans that were brought to the British-speaking colonies came during the period of slavery. It is from the Akan that the Maroons of Jamaica, the ancestors of the most honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, was taken. The Maroons in Jamaica rebelled against their captivity at the time that Jamaica was under the control of the Spanish. They rebelled and they kicked them out. The British came in, tried to take over the island. Again, the Akans there rebelled, took to the mountains and kicked the British out. And they are still there in the mountains and highlands of Jamaica today in their independent communities. The communities established by Nani, Captain Cujo, Captain Kofi. It is from this tradition, from this rich heritage, that our great ancestor Marcus Mosiah Garvey was born, and for which he was tutored and gained his inspiration. The Akan have always been great fighters for freedom. They've always resisted injustice and foreign domination. In Ghana, under the leadership of Prempeh and the great warrior queen Nanayaa Asantewa, they fought many wars against the British, resisting them up until the dawn of the 20th century when they were overcome by the machine gun, the superior technology, and by disunity among peoples there on the coast. And it was this disunity that above all other things, Marcus Garvey spoke against. Above all other things, Marcus Garvey stressed the importance to us of unity. Unity based on our African heritage, on our African traditions, on our African philosophy, on our African way of life. This was a message of Messiah Marcus Garvey above all other things. And we should unify around essentially our culture. And that is the aim of our organization, the Bosum Jamawoji, to provide a vehicle for our people to unify around our tradition and our culture. Under the leadership of Nana Yao Opari Didi Zulu and his successor Nana Yao Kamari Didi Zulu, contacts and relationships have been established on the continent of Africa with the great traditional rulers installed there among the Asante, the Fati, the Aquapim, the Achim, the Dagbani, and many of the other people in West Africa. For over 30 years, we have been teaching and living our tradition, and we invite you to join us in returning to the ways of our ancestors. For it is from our own tradition, from returning to our ancestors, that we will find our destiny, that we will find the structures and the institutions, the knowledge and the wisdom that we need to overcome the challenges that we faced here in this part of the world and all around the world. We do not need to reinvent the wheel, as my wife likes to say, for our ancestors had it all. We can look to our traditions to be instructed in how to raise our children, and how to establish our households and our families, and how to feed our bodies and to heal ourselves when we are sick. We can look to our traditions in order to learn how to establish our governments and organize our community so they'll be of maximum benefit to us and so that we will be able to leave a rich legacy to our posterity. We do not want it said by our children and our children's children that we had the opportunity to make something great for them, and we did not do it because we were afraid to break away from the ways of the European, because we were trapped in Western culture. We must return to the way of our ancestors. A very much importance in returning to our tradition is to venerate our ancestors. We must never forget them. We must make a place for them in our home, a place in our homes where we can go and commune with our ancestors, where we can talk to them, a place where we have pictures of our grandparents, of our great-grandparents, of the heroes from our past, like Marcus Garvey. A place where we go there and we make offerings to them, where we give them water, we give them drink, we give them food, ask them to partake with us and to share with us. And we ask them for their blessing, their wisdom, their guidance, and their protection. This is the way of our ancestors, and this is the way that has kept the tradition alive for all these eons. It is from this that we will find the strength to overcome the challenges that we face. And so, in closing, I would only leave you with the words of the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Up, you mighty race, you can accomplish what you will.
I just want to say we're going to bring on the entertainment. For a minute here, we got Jicky and the Stonefish Posse. Let's give them a hand. Yeah. Yeah. And we're open. You all can come on out and, dance over here and dance over there. Let's just have a good time celebrating Marcus Garvey Day. We're going to have Jicky and the Stonefish Posse. Following that, we have Brother Tyreek, who is going to give us some more poetry after Jicky and the Stonefish Posse. Let's give them a hand, y'all.
electronic symbol. Can you just help me out? Just even it out a little bit. Sorry, should I just take them like we got? I'm ready out here. Keyboards for now, brother. I'm gonna try to give you some monitors. If you need more monitors, just what you say. No, something like this. Like, think about it. I don't watch it.
I say blessings to you. Blessings to you in the name of the Most High. God, Jeff, Rastafari. King of kings, Lord of lords, conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah. Selassie, Rastafari. Come on. Yeah. Yes, Ras. Come. We want to say greetings to you on this day. This day that we give thanks and praise that one named Marcus Garvey walked this earth. One named Marcus Garvey has given us new birth. A direction back home. We want to give thanks and praise in this day and time that Marcus has given us the reason and the rhyme. One God, one aim, one destiny. One Africa for all, one Africa as people see it. We want to give thanks and praise to the All-African People's Revolutionary Party for having the foresight, the love, and the understanding to bring us all together this day and time. And as we remember Marcus, and Marcus' lesson for us to go home, while we wait for the moment we carry Africa inside. For all them that are blessed with the blessings of such, have known and heard as much, Africans will be free when Africa is free. Say, oh, I remember. Oh, you remember the days of slavery? Marcus Garvey and Selassie, wherever Rasta together, yes, they know that I and I you praise. Oh, Lord, and give praise. But we remember. Good things, good things. Yeah. I can feel it out there. This thing from Marcus. It is time of remembrance.
Now you want some more bass on here? Yeah, there's some more bass drums.
We will let the mystic feelings flow. Right now. It's gonna groove. Then we'll play the take time and feel the spirit. The spirit of the melody that come across through the pattern. And refuse to get inside. In remembrance of the Mario Bishop. And the confusion he tried to hide. And the way he was trying to walk around. And in the background, that is still the truth of the full time. South Africa to make sure that some of that girl can be free. Let us now live with and protect the memories. For African people on this side or that, of whatever tradition memories, that's what it says. And these are memories of people. Let these memories be of the sister and the brethren who passed before us. All give their lives in an attempt to see us free. See us free. See us free. And so in the house tonight as the natural mystic flows, let us cherish thy memory. Let us take time to remember Bob Marley and the many things over time we all do. Remembrance of Peter Tosh. And let it be known that no one that has gone before is lost. And all the hearts that we have are singers work hard. Lost. Let us take time to remember we parents and their parents and their parents and their parents. And let the natural music flow. And with all these memories that come together, let no one tell you that you don't know who you are. With all these memories that come together, that will carry us to who you are. And with all these memories that come together, it is one natural disguise, praising the Lord Most High, should always be on our minds. Rock!